And then we're going to the 2023 Wonder Class A RV Bunkers floor plan. And yeah. And then let's start with the options here, which is the optional reclining dinette, the optional dinette slash bed, the optional U-shaped dinette, the optional L-shaped dinette, the optional L-shaped sofa, the optional theater seats, the optional recliners, the optional reclining sleeper sofa, the optional hide bed. And then the optional curtains, optional automatic sensors, lights, navigation system, shadow package, cat tank, bumper safety awards, front steps, eco-certified, step, refrigerator slash micro, cooler, air conditioner, heater, awning, front deck, outside TV, removable table, extra storage, solar roof, loft bed, bunk bed, camping package, generator, dualies, chairs a table, heating slash cooling vent, double shell protection, and then a ladder. And so basically the shadow package makes everything darker, and then the navigation system which you go your own address and then go there, and then the bumper safety awards keeps you in between the yellow and the white lines, and then also it goes into the other lane and lets you go in front of the person, and then the eco certified which makes it go further without gas, and then the extra storage which makes the RV look bigger and then longer, and then there is an additional closet in the back of the RV, and then the generator which is a 200 rigid and a 500 rigid, and then the awning which is the 23 foot, 26 foot, and then the 25 foot, and then the outside TV which is 12 inches, 15 inches, and then 16 inch, and then and and then the colors which are cream, purple, teal, woodland, dark blue, forest green, cherry red, and royal purple. And then the furniture colors which are cream, light gray, gray, and beige. And then the cabinetry color which is white, brown, gray, dark beige, and white with black. And then and then basically the automatic sensors it's a 360 degrees angle everywhere for the RV, when you're parking in a parallel parking and going out of the parking spot, it alerts you to stop and then turn or something, and then the camping package which kind of makes more overhead cabinets than it already is, and then the curtains which kind of you go all around here-ish area, and then the storage which kind of goes all the way around here, And then the dualies also, like, you go here also. And then, basically basically with, like, the steps, it goes, like, for 2 or 3, you think, and then, the front steps, it's, like, either, like, 2 or 3 also. And then the shadow package, which kind of, like, makes everything, like, darker than it actually is. And then, the front deck is basically, like, separate of the RV, and, yeah. And then the front deck is only, like, used for whenever you are, like, wanting to, like, stay in one spot, but it's not mostly required, but it is required whenever it's, like, staying in, like, one spot. So basically, he's a removable table, which is also really nice. These two. And then, the extra storage, which kind of, like, makes it bigger. And with the solar roof, which is, like, overhead, like, up here, kind of. And, like, so, while the solar roof is, like, up there should at least be, like, a generator that, like, exists here. And, yeah, and, like, with the shadow package, it's, like, darker than it had to, like, be. And then with the refrigerator and then the microwave, if it's, like, actually, like, darker. I mean, with the refrigerator and the microwave, if they usually, like, had a refrigerator and then also add a microwave to it, and then so the dualies, which kind of, like, helps keep better track for, like, the extreme weather or something like that. And then, and so the step, which is, like, for helping older people, like, get around with this RV, and so that's what it really is nice about it. And then the navigation system, which is, like, you go to your address and then, like, you go there, and then the bumper safety awards, which is, like, it makes you in between the yellow and the white line, and when there's a slow person in front of you, it, like, it goes into the other lane and then, like, goes in front of the person who is, like, slow, and then the eco certified, which makes you, like, go farther without gas, and then the extra storage, which, like, makes it, like, seem, like, bigger, and then the outside TV, which is, like, 12 inch, 15 inch, and then 16 inch, and then the generator, which is, like, 200 and the 500, and then the awning, which is 23 foot, 25 foot, and 26 foot, and then, like, the cooler, which cools everything down, and then, like, the heater, which is, like, it heats everything up, and then the heating and cooling vent, which is, like, auto temperature, and then the solar roof, which is a nice view of this outside, and then like the curtains which are like it goes all around the windows, use it, and the RV, and then the automatic sensors which go in like a 360 degrees, and then the lights which kind of like help you at night time, and then the front steps which kind of like help the driver or like you get around, and then and the air conditioner which is like the cooler but it's on top of the RV, and then the chairs a table which is also cool too, and then the double shell protection which like it helps protect the RV from like crashes and stuff, and then the ladder which kind of like helps you go to the ceiling for the air conditioner to be like fixed, and yeah, the front deck is like only when you're like in one spot though, and and then also the optional gas tank which is located in front of the vehicle, which is only used for when it's like really needed kind of. And then in the optional reclining dinette, the optional dinette slash bed, the optional U-shaped dinette, the optional L-shaped dinette, the optional L-shaped sofa, the optional theater seats, the optional recliners, the optional reclining sleeper sofa, the optional hide bed, and then and this RV like has a really large and nice living room, and then and what makes it even nicer is that the TV will be there. And then basically it has like a really nice bunk room as well, and then and a queen to a king bed, and then basically for the bedroom the optional TV is also there, and yeah, this bunker's floor plan which is like the best is floor plan for like bunk beds kind of event, and it also seems like really cool also is that it's the bunk beds which are only in which makes the bunk beds and the queen size king bed and only for like in like the same bedroom kind of, and that is what makes it like really nice. And then well basically and then there is like an optional microwave also, like I said with the optional refrigerator and the microwave. Yeah, the optional microwave is part of the optional refrigerator and the microwave, and then it like goes into the end of the video, and I hope that you like, subscribe, and then bye.